And welcome back, folks, to the Lost Sheep Podcast. I'm Nazaro Pangalo here with the wonderful, the great
Cole Bissett.
Cole, the man, Bissett. I know it's been a while, folks, and we'll have some wonderful updates here about, our lives, what's going on. But we are excited to be back with y'all here on this wonderful August 21st, Cole, as we approach the glorious month of September. Why is September so glorious, Cole?
Am I going to have an? Oh, well, it's glorious because the college football is starting back up. That's why it's
Because
glorious.
football season begins, baby. Yes, football will be back before y'all know it. I know that Sundays that you've just been filling it with the Lost Sheep podcast, but now you can watch the Lost Sheep podcast and have football. What an incredible way to spend a Sunday. Am I right, Cole?
Oh, it's a beautiful way to spend the Sunday, especially when you have two big screen televisions in your living room, and that can have two quad boxes on the upper and lower TVs, like we do in our room.
Exactly. So if that's how you spend your Sunday, if you don't spend your Sunday that way, I don't know what you're doing, but hopefully you spend it in that way. Cole, how have you been doing, sir? You have not started classes yet, but you're enjoying Tuscaloosa. How's that going?
It's been good. It's been good. Life's been busy. I feel like this is the second time that I've really had the opportunity to like sit at home. I've just been running all over the place. We had our first Spirit and Truth
Oh, there
um,
we go.
Wednesday.
You all
Yep,
didn't have class this
immediately.
week, right?
We did. We had class on
Oh, you
Wednesday.
did have class this week.
Yeah.
My bad. I thought you guys didn't start till next week.
Started this week, so have my first senior design class. That was good. And then first day of school, we went straight into Spirit and Truth. So that was awesome. I played piano for the first time at Spirit and Truth.
Whoa,
Like
big
fully played
dog.
it. Yep, it was a little nerve-wracking, but here I am. So that was exciting. But yeah, week's been busy. Got to see Ella yesterday, so that was a lot of fun. She's been in Birmingham.
I don't think our podcast really knows who that is, Cole.
Who Ella is?
No,
I name dropped her last episode, but I can
you
name
name
drop her again.
dropped her. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I guess that's true. But
my my
whatever
my
you'd like to share.
my girlfriend, her name is Ella, and she's awesome. So, there's my knowledge bomb on the crowd there for listeners who are very interested in the two of our love lives. One of us is newly dating, and one of us is engaged. So, two different stages, but we ball, right? We ball. Um,
Absolutely, we
but
always
yeah,
do.
how are you, Mr. Religion Teacher?
So yeah, if y'all didn't know, I don't think we've recorded since then, Cole. Correct?
Not since you started. No.
No. So we have not recorded since I officially began as a religion teacher. Um, I don't. I think I can say what high school it is. I don't think there's any restrictions on that, but and we might have already said it anyways. But over at St. Henry High School here in Northern Kentucky, it has been a blast. I very much enjoy it. It's been so fun being around them. Hopefully, they've learned something from me. Trying my best to teach them the knowledge that I have. Just been introducing some things. First test in a week from today, Cole. We lay down the business. We take tests around here. We don't play around.
Yeah, could you guys imagine Nazario like stern and serious? Like, I'm already just imagining because you had to have an opportunity to like get onto some kids at some points already, right? I
Oh,
see.
it's happened. And
Oh
they're
yeah.
like, oh boy, when it happens, it happens. So it's basically like, Cole, when I get onto this podcast or whenever I do any broadcasting, the broadcaster voice comes out. So
Ah,
just picture that, but just in front of a classroom. It's a very similar style. So it's helped me to understand like that very projected voice. And so
yeah.
they definitely get a little frightened. I understand why. It can be interesting to hear that come at you a little bit, but here we
Are
are.
you a favorite teacher yet? Where do you fit
That's
into the
not for me to
rankings?
answer. That's up to the students to decide.
Yeah, you don't feel that like, oh, we get to go to Mr. Pingalo's classroom today
You
vibe.
know, that's you know what? That's not for me to say.
Well, fair enough. Yes, Nazario is over there in old Kentucky, and I am down here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Now that college has officially started, it is a little weird moving and living in here. We now have two roommates that are new to the household. They're quite chill, pretty good roommates, but
I
it is
forgot about that
weird.
part.
Yeah, it is weird not having our two previous roommates with Nazario and Gil. So it's strange going downstairs and somebody not sitting there waiting with a shaker bottle ready to go work out with me. So that's a bit odd, but we're learning. We're learning. Um,
We're
yeah, I
learning.
just came back from a little hangout with Evan, who's still in his little wedding busyness time period. He's starting to slowly kind of phase away from the podcast just because his life's getting a little busy. So we'll get a couple or maybe even just one more episode with him before we all will see him go. We're very excited for him and his endeavors and his journey. He's a very busy man, so he's got a lot going for him. So we're very excited for him. But y'all wish him the best of luck, and hopefully we'll get him on here a time or two to come on just have a couple goodbye episodes or just fun ones to just talk. So yeah, so it was nice to see him. But Nazario, you brought the quote for this week, so I'm gonna let you go with it. But before I even let you do that, we have to first introduce our segment, which is the quote of the week, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen?
Ladies and gentlemen, the quote of the week.
You see what I did there? Like I
That was
summarized
that
what
was
he said.
elite.
Yeah, that
That was
was just
elite right there, Cole. That was some quality transitioning right there
oh
from the
man.
main man Cole Bissett. That was pretty nifty right there, bud. Okay, so we are gonna get into this one. And no, this quote is not from one of our favorite movies. We're not gonna name drop that right now. However, it
But we are
is
gonna
from.
pause. We're gonna pause for a quick second and let you think what that movie is, and the real
We're
ones will
gonna
know
let you
this. Nazaru and
the
I's
real ones will
favorite
know.
movies to watch with you guys. What is that?
Yeah.
Okay, go
So
ahead.
this quote is from the poet named Rumi. The quote is, "What you seek is seeking you. What you seek is seeking you." So, Cole, I don't want you to start off right off the bat giving us the basic answer here. Obviously, that God seeks us first. He begins the seeking, and we eventually respond. I want you to think of some other example, some other way to take this. But first, I'm going to give you guys that basic answer because I'm going to take the cop out, and
Wow,
not let Cole
wow,
do it.
wow. Are we just gonna let Nazario get away with
the
this,
host
guys? Like
the
this is
host can
ridiculous.
do the host can do what he wants. So
Uh,
obviously, when we talk about what you seek is seeking you, we recognize that God first seeks us. He first created us, obviously. So we don't have anything to go on our own. He created us, He gave us everything that we have, and He also is seeking us out. I believe it comes from Romans, where it says, "Before everything, I loved you." Basically, what God is saying. Before anything and everything happened in this world, whether it's our birth, our creation, the crucifixion, death, and resurrection of Jesus, before all of that, He loved us. So, whenever you think that you are a great prayer, that you go to Mass so much, I want you to be humbled by this quote. What you seek is seeking you, because you actually did literally nothing except for saying yes to what God said. And something I have to remind myself of too. So I'm trying to tell this to myself as well, that all I'm doing is saying yes to God, because He is seeking us. He is first searching out for us and inviting us in. All we do is respond. All we do is say yes. So what you seek is seeking you. God is always seeking us. Cole, the
so
man Bissett.
what are you per se wanting from me here? I'm very
I was
curious.
curious if you could find a different way to take this. So I feel like that is the basic, obvious answer right there. What else do you see from this quote? Like outside of what we know about God already seeking this, where else can we sense and feel this quote related to?
I think it's kind of just all aspects of our lives. Now I think at the end of the day, I don't think you can escape the reality that this quote is talking about God, but I think you can change the perspective on where you look at it, if that makes sense. God is in everything. But which is that? What dog is that? Which one's that?
I apologize. That Bristol. How bad is it?
It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough.
Oh, you keep going, my friend.
All right. Well, like I was saying, I think it comes down to a perspective change here. What you seek is seeking you. Oh, there's his parrot, by the way. I don't know if y'all know he has a bird. Like we're two very ragtag little podcasters here, so trying to record in the chaos of our own life. But as I was saying, you got to change your perspective. So if you think about it from like, okay, God, I'm seeking God, God is seeking me, whatever it looks like. That's true. That is very true. But where do you find God? Would be my next question. Is okay. In what you seek. So in my everyday life, I seek time of relaxation at school. So for me, it's like, okay, I'm knocking out all my homework and I'm seeking that time of relaxation. And you know what? That relaxation is waiting for me. It's waiting for me. And I'm so ready. I'm so ready. And when it hits and I hit the couch and just chill, my body just sinks into that. Or for example, you desire friendship. Maybe it's friendship that you desire. And you look for it and look for it in other ways and you try to find it on campus and you're looking for it. Well, there's other people that are out there that are the same thing and they're seeking somebody just like you. And God is in all of those things. Everything that is good intrinsically, God is in. God is in all of our desires. So my rephrase of this and what I would like to highlight is it's not that just that, we're seeking God and he's seeking us. It's that God desires us. I've heard this so often recently from several different people. It's like God desires you. God loves you. God seeks for you. He thirsts for you, longs for you, like throughout our entirety of our life. And that's the coolest part, is everything in our life is this longing that God has for us. And we feel it. We feel it. When you look at it, we talk about beauty, and I know you can't really escape it. That's the crazy part, is that no matter what conversation we get into, one of the three transcendentals is going to come up. I've already talked about the good, and I'm about to talk about the beautiful again. But you look at a painting and you're struck by it. It's like, what the reason it strikes you is because you feel God's desire through it and you desire that. And it's kind of a glimpse into that. And there's so many different little glimpses into that divine mystery that we get to see. Neither Nazario nor I are married, but the recreative act of producing a child is a glimpse into that's unity in two individuals, which is the same sort of ecstasy and unity that we'll see with our Holy Father in heaven. When we enter heaven, it's kind of like a glimpse into that, which is why that act is so sacred, because it's a glimpse into that heavenly feeling, that heavenly ecstasy with somebody. And I think I know it's it's on the same track as you. I don't really know how else I would take it other than that. But yeah, it's just to constantly know that you're being chased. Like you are being chased by the Lord. He is constantly chasing you. His hand is always extended, and he's going to look for you even when it's dark outside. And you'll see that, I think consolation and desolation. That's my next question. Okay. What does a time of consolation mean to you, Nazario, in your prayer life?
A time of consolation?
Yep. Do you know what that word means?
Trying to parse that one out right now in my head. I know what it means, but I'm trying to think of a time of consolation in my prayer life of what that would look like. Do you have an example that comes to mind for you, Mr. Bishop?
Yep. Consolation, a period in your prayer life of consolation is like constant reaffirming in your prayer. It's like, okay, I feel God in a lot right now. God is reaffirming me of his presence in my life and in prayer, or maybe it's clarity on a big decision. And like, oh, this is really a time of consolation. God is reaffirming me this is the right choice. Or maybe I'm suffering and God brings me peace. That's times of consolation. And you go and fluctuate from consolation to desolation, where it's the exact opposite. God is still there, but you feel him less. And that goes into the whole book that I'm reading, which is called The Discernment of Spirits, which is very, very, very good book by Father Timothy Gallagher, if you guys ever get the time. and it's all about those desires. For somebody who is seeking God, what can the evil spirit put into your heart to desire for you to seek that you don't want to seek you back? Because I think that's another interesting perspective you can think about it is, okay, what about the flip side? You seek evil things that you think are good. Okay, well, what is going to be seeking you? The devil's going to flip back that script right back on you. Um, and there's so many different realities and examples in life where that comes to play, like a drug addiction. You seek that out, and you will constantly have that thirst for more and more and more and more and more, and eventually you could OD. And that's really sad, but that's the way it works. So learning how to control those desires and direct those desires is important, and then responding to them. Like, for instance, would you like to give an example of a good desire and a response to that desire that would be um, appropriate?
A basic good desire is a desire for food, which comes for you just hungry, hungry desire. And the basic way to fulfill that desire and keep it as a good desire is to eat food in moderation. Like obviously there is a bad side to that if we let it get too far, but basic desire for food, basic desire of fulfilling that, eating a meal.
Yeah, Nazar. Oh, see, dang it, you specified meal. I was gonna pick on you there because Nazaria is anti-snack. So we never had snacks at the cottages when he was around because he'd always get mad at me.
They also cost a bajillion dollars. So
It was so funny.
a ridiculous amount of money on snacks. They're so expensive.
We'd order granola bars and Nazario would hide them. He would hide them from me because they would disappear. Um, it's because I would
I
just
would
eat
do
them
this
all. But yeah,
in a very short amount of time.
yes, it would be like 2 days and there's like 6 bars in there, and Nazario would be like, I had one. Do you know where they
That's
went?
how
And
it
I'd be
goes,
like,
folks.
I'd probably look up at the sky and be like, yeah, no idea. I don't really know what happened to them while they're digesting in my stomach. Um, but yeah. Okay, well, what about a bad side? How does the devil seek us through a bad desire?
Through a bad desire.
Yep.
So my question back to you would be then, Cole, are any of our desires inherently bad, or are they just good desires that have been manipulated?
Ooh, I'm glad you said that. I actually kind of wanted you to catch the wording there. I didn't mean to say desire, but after I said it, I wanted you to catch it. Yeah, I don't think intrinsically that our desires can be a bad thing. We're created for goodness and we're created to desire goodness. That's why we have this sense of longing. Back to
Hold on, let
I
me
don't,
actually ask you this real
okay.
quick that'll make the point even clearer. So give me something that inherently is not inherently, sorry, an action that someone could desire that is bad.
That is bad. Well, we
Mhm.
could let's just go lustfully. Let's go just the creative act outside of marriage, sex.
Okay, so in that, what is that person seeking? What does that
Mm,
person hope to get from committing that?
pleasure.
Which, what do they want from pleasure? What do we
Reaffirmation
ultimately? Why do we want reaffirmation?
because we want to feel wanted.
Which makes us feel what?
Good.
What's another word for feeling good?
Um. Uh.
Starts with
I'm
an
lost.
H.
An H.
H-A.
Oh, I know. I had a feeling it was an A.
P.
Happy. Happy.
There you go. Okay, so whatever you talk about or something that someone could do, whether it's good or bad, most likely the reason that they want to do this, if not almost entirely, is because in some form or fashion they want to be happy. Although the act could be bad, their intention could be bad with it. Someone could want to kill someone. Someone could want to make someone look bad. However, at the end of the day, it comes down to the core of they want to be happy, and that's the reason that they're doing. They want to feel happiness. So Cole, I say this, and I wanted to bounce off you there because you are trying to show that every desire has a good side, or in some form or fashion that we are made and for good. And that's because we are made and desire happiness. So continue your point, but I wanted to show that no matter what it is at the core, that person wants happiness from whatever they're doing, whether it's good or bad.
Yeah. And our desire is for something. Our desire is for something that we could perceive as good that could make us happy. Like that desire in of itself, all of our desires aren't inherently, they are not bad things. Um, they're just misguided sometimes, if that makes sense. Things are very hidden. Good things and bad things can be hard to understand sometimes because there's bad things that are disguised as good things. Um, and I think it's important to recognize the difference of them. But what I was going to say is I'm glad that you caught the word desire, because in that instance I would say seek. That's where I would say, okay, seeking, because you're not desiring, this is what you're actively pursuing, if that makes sense. You are now pursuing these things. So there is a difference in your verbiage and your word, whatever, when you're pursuing something that's actually bad, that's seeking something that's bad. You know it's bad and you seek it, and then it's going to come back at you again. The first rule in spiritual direction, it's okay, what happens to somebody when you are discerning something and you're instead pursuing the things of the devil? What happens? Well, the evil spirit is going to continue to lure you, is what it says, and then the good spirit is going to try and grasp at you as much as it can. And then the second rule is the flip side. It's like, okay, right now, what about if you're pursuing God? And it's like, well, the the good spirit is going to reaffirm you in that consolation. It's going to reaffirm you in that. It's going to lift you up. It's going to try to keep you in high spirits. It's going to try to keep you happy, if that makes sense. But then the evil spirit is going to try to make you feel sorrow. That's why in times of consolation, you can experience some of the most extreme sorrow. It's because that's when the devil tries to hit you the hardest with your sadness. And I just not learned this today, but read it again today, and it was kind of just really inspiring to me to just read it. And I was like, okay, this makes a lot of sense, because it's very practical and it's a very simple thing, but it's like the reality of discernment. It's the reality of seeking something. You have to have an honest reflection of what you're seeking. That's why discernment is important in all aspects of your life. We emphasize spiritual direction all the time. How is that going for you, by the way, Nazar? How has your spiritual direction been, by the way?
Had it on Wednesday night. Still great. Still love it. He's looking actually for a new book for me.
Okay. Do you have any idea? Does he have any ideas so far?
He's a little bit. Something a little bit. You
Okay.
want me to tell you?
No, you don't have to. I was just curious. But yeah, my next one should be coming up here soon. I don't think either of us could like recommend that to you guys enough to pursue spiritual direction. If that is at all an opportunity for you with somebody, please give it a shot. I think you'll find that it opens up the door for a lot more transformation than you think. But am I making sense, Nazario? I'm trying to be cohesive with this thought, but I feel like um, I can get a little rambly sometimes.
No, that's okay. You're doing good, bro.
Uh, but yeah, I guess that's my little spiel on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have any
So I'm
questions for
gonna.
you.
No, you're good. I'm gonna bring it back and just give you guys an idea of what Jalal al-Din Rumi was trying to say. He was a 13th century Persian poet. So he's trying to suggest a deep spiritual symmetry, that your purest desires and longings are not random, but a magnetic pull drawing you towards your path. So I am going to help us understand a little bit more. So if our purest desires and longings are not random, but a magnetic pull drawing you towards your path, then we still have to understand what that means for people that, or including us, that have bad desires come up. Okay. And this is where we have to.
Well, our desire. Did we ever get to a conclusion on whether we could say desires are
So
bad?
this is that is a good clarification to make. When our desires point us towards something bad. Okay.
Okay,
How
there we
about
go.
that?
Yeah, I like that.
So when our desires point us into something bad like that. So say you have a person for some reason desires to kill somebody. And there are plenty of people who have claimed, whether they be a serial killer or what have you, that they had a strong desire to do this thing. Now, some people, and we can see this in a variety of aspects of life, would claim, well, that person wanted to do that. That person had those desires. And if you're going to go off this quote, that means they should have followed it because they had that desire. This is where, especially as Christians, we have to take another step. We have to go deeper, especially with all of us. This is just one example, but all of us with our own desires. We have to be able to sit there and grapple with where our desires are being directed. We have to understand how the devil is manipulating and twisting us. And we have to try to retrace the steps to understand what's the true desire behind this. So, as we talked about with everyone desiring happiness earlier, at the core, we can always say that someone desires happiness. However, this gets directed could go in a variety of ways. So, someone that wants to kill somebody, I don't know why this is the example, but this is what's
Nazaria is a
working for me.
serial killer this week.
So someone's desires have been directed towards wanting to kill someone. And I apologize for the loud noises. So that person, why would they want to do that? Well, maybe they want to feel accomplished because they want to do something of note in their life. So there's one thing. Then they would say, okay, I want to do something to feel accomplished. Well, why do you want to do that? Because it makes you feel satisfied that you've done something with your life. And you want to feel satisfied that you've done something with your life because it makes you feel purposeful and makes you feel happy. Okay, so that's a little retracing of the steps for one example. And we see how we don't know exactly and understand maybe exactly how that got twisted into directed towards that evil thing. However, this is what we must do with our desires, because we can all have a variety of different desires and things, the ways that they're directed that aren't exactly great. And so we have to try to understand what it really is under the surface. And this is one of the reasons, and I'm going to speak on this call. I don't know if we've actually gone into this much, but I feel like it's a good time. This is one reason why we as America and we as the world have failed with understanding and properly handling the way the world has moved and shifted its opinions on how gender and sexuality work.
Okay.
So many people become very tolerant and even positively influence and encourage these people that don't know and are irrationally and immorally following their sexuality. And so everyone in the world that supports this has a reason and claims that, maybe not everyone, I apologize for using that word, but there are claims out there that the reason that they support them is because, well, they want this, they desire this. Why should I take that? Why should I try to stop them from doing something that they desire? And so we as Christians have to understand and be able to properly handle this with care of helping those people understand that this isn't what you truly desire. This is the way that your desires have been manipulated by the devil and directed. So whether we like a guy, we like a boy, or we like girls, boys, whatever, at the core of that is still the good roots of our desires that God has given us. The world is the one that has taken, the devil is the one that has taken this and manipulated it into the evil actions that we see. So when we talk about that, we have to handle it with grace and with care and be able to articulate and show those beautiful people, because they are absolutely still wonderful and beautiful, because they are still created children of God. Help them understand that they are just being directed in the wrong way towards wrong action, and show them the true fulfillment and desires of their hearts, which of course we know is God. Cole, does that all sound and make sense as to where I was going with there?
Yeah, I think it's the like you're saying, the improper education of how to handle those desires is a problem. It's something that we see. It's something that you and I still struggle with all the time. It's like, okay, like for example, we talked about like food just earlier, but let's just say we have a Thanksgiving meal one time at the cottages, which this has probably happened before, and Nazario's eaten 4 brownies and his stomach's like saying no, but his mind is like, I want more brownies. And then Nazario eats another one. It's like, okay, I did not discern this properly. I should not have eaten another brownie because now I'm going to go throw up in the bathroom. Same with like alcohol. You have 1 or 2 drinks and you're like, I'm starting to feel something that's a little much. But everybody else is drinking one and I kind of want to drink another one with them. And so I'm going to do it. And then you end up drunk. And next thing you know, then the whole night's bad. The same thing applies to everything. That's why this discernment of your spirits, this discernment of desire is so important. And neither of us are in a position to lecture, but this is just something that we experience in our everyday life, if that makes sense. Like, we're just talking about a lot of what we pull from is our own experiences, if that makes sense. So, like, with our desires, when we see weaknesses in ourselves, it's like, okay, this is something that we struggle with, and it's something that we want to talk about. This is something we've read up on, whatever it may be. And a lot of the time, when this quote may be whimsically picked randomly, but a lot of the time it's very applicable to our lives. And so I think there's an improper education on how to truly discern a desire. It's rather this impulsivity. It's this instant, okay, I desire this, so it must be good. I was born and I desire that I want to be a girl. And, that if just because that desire is there, I need to do it. Like that desire tells me that's what I'm meant to be, rather than, okay, what is behind this desire? Why do I feel this way? Am I just biologically this way? And so there is a discernment in that. There's a discernment in every decision in your life. It goes, okay, why? Okay, what is it? How did it happen? And all, like, there is an active steps of discernments that you need to take before reacting to your desires. Because like I said earlier, there is such a manipulative confusion towards the what is good. There's some things that are obviously good, and then there's some things that seem good but are very bad, that are just hidden really, really well. So it's important to take proper steps in that discernment. But yeah, with that being said, we will move on to our Shepherd of the Week, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Shepherd of the Week.
Yeah, so the shepherd is purely from me, your boy over here. Cole doesn't even know who this person is. So I will introduce and explain everything of why this person is our shepherd of the week. Okay, so our shepherd of the week this week is Zack Zvosecz. It's a little bit hard to spell, a little bit hard to say, but Mr. Z, as I will call him, is the religion chair of the religion department at St. Henry, where I teach at. And I wanted to shout him out because he helped me a lot this summer with preparing for the school year, helping me understand the curriculum, how things work, and helping me to feel comfortable. I think he's a great shepherd, an example of how to lead. He leads our department quite well. Everyone feels comfortable and they feel that he encourages them and makes them feel confident in whatever that they're doing, along with being just a great faithful example. He is a very faithful person. You can see that in just the way he talks, the way he approaches the chapel, the Blessed Sacrament, the way he approaches Mass. So just wanted to show our appreciation for him and for all the kindness and grace that he has shown myself as I prepare and enter into this new stage of life, this new job. So shout out our Shepherd of the Week, Zack Zvosecz, Mr. Z.
Ladies and gentlemen, the practical prayer practice of the week.
Now we're going to throw it over to Mr. Cole Ethan, Main the Man Besot, to give us our practical prayer practice.
So for this week, I obviously want to connect our prayer practice as much as possible with this quote. And I'm sure you can guess it as some sort of way to do with desire, whatever that may be. But I kind of want you to spend 15 minutes in prayer. And the way that I want you to do it is I want you to start in the first 5 minutes and just prepare your heart and your soul to receive what is being spoken to you during this time. So I want you to just sit like crisscross applesauce on the floor and close your eyes. And as Nazario would say, this is kind of your mindfulness intro. But you would kind of just sit there and just be. Don't think about anything. Just prepare. If the more you set your mind and your heart and your soul at ease, the easier it will be to receive. So that's the first 5 minutes. And then for the next time, the next 5 minutes, I want you to like name the desire honestly, whatever it may be. I desire blank because I hope it will give me blank. Um, and just be honest about it. Like be honest. What does that look like? What is it? And then why do I want it? Don't hide. I mean, you're just saying it to yourself and God in your room. It's very private. And then after that, reflect on it. Okay, if I act on this desire, what's going to happen? What are the fruits? What are the cons? And if there are cons, then it's maybe probably not a good desire. And it's something you should talk about with a priest. Maybe it's something that you should discern if it's like obviously something that you want and are still a little confused at it being a good thing or a bad thing. Uh, the discernments of the way you feel are very important because you feel things regardless, and every action has a reaction on you. You have some sort of emotional reaction to anything. And I always like to reaffirm people that it's okay to feel. You're actually invited and encouraged to feel things because there's a reason for that. And anytime you feel something, that's almost that spirit pulling on you, whether it's a good spirit or a bad spirit is what you need to figure out. So that's where that discernment comes into play. That's why I would highly recommend that book, Discernment of Spirits by Father Timothy Gallagher, because it hits that topic really well. I'm only on chapter 4 and it's already hit that topic really well. I mean, the first 2 chapters are about the good spirit and the bad spirit, and then it elaborates further on what that looks like. So if you have the time, that's a great book to read also. But that is our practical prayer practice for the week. As Nazario and I have decided to lock in a little bit more with the podcast, we have lots of fun things on our schedule, and this includes a PPP update. So we will plan to bring this to you guys and bring our honest prayer with the practical prayer practice to you guys in the form of like a story, maybe even a short post, whatever it is, so that y'all can see that we're actively doing this with you. We don't want this to be a personalized thing to us. We're not like, what's the word? We're not missionaries we're not educated missionaries. We're not priests. We're not deacons. We're not brothers, sisters, whatever it is. We're none of these things. We're just ordinary college kids who want to share the gospel with people and want to express what we see in every day today life, so that we can share that with you, because it's a beautiful thing. Y'all are getting to see us in a phase now where one of us is in college, one of us is now not, one of us is in the full-time workforce. And so you can see the active transitions that we go through that. There's a reason that we're drawn to certain quotes. It's like, okay, I relate to this a lot this week. We've got a whole catalog and we just go through it and it's like, this one really hits. Let's talk about this week. And that's a good thing. So we really would like to stay connected with you guys, and this practical prayer practice update will do that. I'm very excited about this one too. But yes, and then we'll have some casual clips from the pod that'll be updated, and then we're going to try to post some fun reels here and there. But we're staying in tune. We're staying up to date. Very excited for future endeavors. Nazario, do you have any final thoughts on this quote?
All right, I'm back, folks, to give my final thoughts. So Colt gave us a great little prayer practice on desire, about how we can practice that to truly understand what they are. My final thoughts here for y'all is that no matter what your desire is or where it is trying to lead you, you need to remember and to understand what true, pure freedom is. Okay. True, pure freedom is you having complete self control over yourself. You get to choose what you do and what you do not do. Your desires do not have that control over you. They can be a pathway to lead you to good, but they can also be a destructive way if we let them control us and lead us down a dark path. But I want you to remember that you are the only one who gets to choose those things. Those do not get chose for you. So take heart, be strong, and take control of your freedom, take control of your life. You get to choose what desires you let and what desires you follow. Allow those to be directed and choose to allow them to use them the way that God desires for you, not what the devil decides. Okay, Cole Bissett. Were that your final thoughts, sir? Would you like to wrap things up?
I will wrap things up. Um, yeah, so one last little thing, our merch is available always. It's out there and it's always ready to go pretty much because you can just go to our website now, which is very exciting that we have a website. But you can go to our website and the
Linked in
merch
the
is
description.
attached. Yep, it is linked in the description. Also, we have a support us page now on there. So you can go on there, and if you're feeling generous and would like to support us, and what that money would go to is maybe getting guests on the show, upgrading our equipment, um, hopefully better internet, fun stuff like that. We would love to bring content to
Better
you guys.
internet. You're telling me you're gonna pay for better internet, buddy?
Well, we'll see what happens, but hopefully we can invest it back into our content, whether that looks like investing it into content for Instagram, whatever it is. We would love your support if you are feeling so called to give to us today and are a Lost Sheep Pick podcast listener. It will be available to you.
And if you decide to give to us, we will think of a new title for y'all. I'm going to make this decision right now. Everyone here that listens to the podcast, all those involved, are part of the Lost Sheep flock. However, if you decide to give money, we will introduce you into our special VIP section of the podcast.
Yes, and maybe we'll have some short form content that we'll post on Instagram just for you guys. But I do plan on making a channel on Instagram at one point for the flock. So if you want all the insider informations, insider updates, it will be posted on there. So be looking out for that. We're trying our very best to be organized, ladies and gentlemen. We both are very busy people. So
But
fitting
not
this
too
into
busy.
our schedules.
We got you.
Yes, we make our priorities as straight as we can. So we're trying our best. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the Lost Sheep podcast this week. My name is Cole Bissett, and that right there is Nazaria Pangallo, aka Curly. We appreciate your love and your listening efforts this week, and we look forward to seeing y'all next week. God bless.